Louisiana-style red beans and rice, oyster and artichoke bisque, Louisiana jambalaya. Welcome to Dishing It Out Louisiana Style. I'm Angela Bertone, your host. In Louisiana, we love to cook, we love to eat, and we love to talk about it. In Louisiana, we not only cook with our hands, we cook with our hearts. Some people call that Southern hospitality. We call that a way of life. As everyone knows, breakfast is good any time of the day. So today we're going to have Louisiana-style breakfast in multiple ways. We're going to start out first with some hash browns, some pork loin in lieu of bacon or ham, some fried eggs, some grits, and we're also a little bit later on the show going to cook you some pancakes, better known as flapjacks, beignets, and Louisiana-style coffee. So let's get started with our hash browns. And these are just 2 red potatoes, which are my favorite. The reason I like to use red potatoes is because they're a little bit sweeter. But you can pick whichever ones you like. We'll get these grated up and put those in the skillet. Not only is a red potato a really good choice, but if you have some potatoes that have already been baked, they're just going to cook a little bit faster, and you might even get a little bit more crisp to them. But one thing about growing up in the South is we really don't like to use anything out of a bag or pre-cooked. So homemade goes a long way when it comes to Southern hospitality. When I was a little girl and my mother used to do this on Saturday mornings, it really wasn't a breakfast, it was more like a brunch because it took forever to cook for 6 girls and my dad, and this is a pretty big breakfast. It actually would be great any time of the day. You notice I'm being pretty generous with my oil. I don't want my potatoes to stick, I want my fire hot, but I also want that grease to kind of bubble up into the hash brown. You can just put them all together, and as they fry, you can cut them with your spatula and divide them up that way. Okay, for my grits, I'm basically using what's on the package. I have 2 cups of water to a half a cup of grits. And these are quick cooking grits, so they're not going to take, like 20 minutes to cook. They're going to take more like 5 minutes to cook. You want to put your grits in with a whisk. And that's really important because you don't want them lumpy. And that's one of the biggest complaints I have when I travel outside of Louisiana is lumpy grits are too thick and mushy and not creamy enough, or just no salt. So they're really easy. I don't know how we mess them up all over the place, but we do. Okay, my water's starting to steam up a little bit. It doesn't have to be to a rolling boil, but it's hot. And actually, when I pour it in, I'm just going to continue to stir with my whisk. Now, this recipe on the box is going to be more of a soupy type of grit. And actually, I like mine a little bit thicker than this. And it looks like my hash browns need some attention. So we're going to give them a little bit of attention. Remember I told you we could just cut them? And all I'm going to do is take my spatula, divide it out, just kind of shake it back and forth. Turn them over and they're lightly brown. I think I'm telling you a story. I'm not liking the looks of these. Remember, I'm not used to measuring. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some more grits to that. I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to do what I suggested to you a while ago. I have actually this is 2 ounces that I'm adding. I'm going to go ahead and whisk it in. I just want it to be a little bit thicker as I'm stirring it while it's cooking. Yeah, I like that a lot better. I don't want soup. I want grits, so they should have some texture to them. And once they cool down, they're actually going to get even more gelled. That's looking good. Now, one thing about grits, they will pop you. I'm going to turn it down to simmer. We're going to add some butter to that right on the top whenever we serve it. Okay, our hash browns are looking good. I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to slice up our pork loin. I cooked a brand new one this morning just for us. Those grits are looking good. And so now I'm just going to slice this like you would maybe a Canadian bacon. And we're going to go really thin. And I kept the drippings so we can drizzle that right over the top. And I just want to show you what this looks like. And I'm going to tell you as a reminder, in case you didn't see that show, how we season this and how we cook this. So let's take a look at it. See that real light, just barely pink pork roast? This is is a tenderloin. It's extremely tender. And you can see the seasonings where I poked it with a fork. Okay, so we're going to finish these up. We're going to fry our eggs, and then we'll plate everything and show you how pretty our breakfast looks. Really fast and easy, but I did cheat a little bit, do some prep time beforehand. We'll be right back. All right, you guys, these hash browns are really getting golden, so we're going to go ahead and take these out. If you notice, I'm putting them on a little bit of paper towel to get rid of that grease or absorb it, because they are good and greasy. We're going to go ahead and salt them. There's our hash browns. Here's our sliced pork loin. Our grits are ready. I put a little bit of butter in them. But grits without butter, you might as well not have them. All right, let's go ahead and get our eggs fried. And one of the things about frying an egg, you know, I mean, everybody's different. Over easy, sunny side up, all these different kinds of things. My mother, when we cooked breakfast on Saturday mornings, and it was, gosh, the house was always full. Everybody had company, and it was a big deal. I think some of my friends spent the night just because they wanted this breakfast. But basically, she had her grease really, really hot, and so the egg would just sizzle on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and just put one and cook it regular, and then when the fire gets really hot, I'm going to add the other one. Now, my dad would say to Mama, burn it. Well, he didn't really mean burnt. He just wants the edges crispy, and my oldest sister, she likes it the same way. If they're not crispy and crunchy, they don't want it. That's not a cooked egg to them. But we also want that center to stay runny. You notice right where that membrane is, it kind of holds the white together. I'll break that, and that kind of helps get the white completely cooked, but still leave my yellow runny. And this is kind of how I like mine. It's not really got that, it doesn't have that crunchy side to it, but it's still fried as opposed to just like on a grill. And I think that ought to do it where it's not, it doesn't have that runny yellow, runny white, but it still have my runny yellow. So now, my grease ought to be really good and hot. You hear that? It'll slap you too. See how bubbly it gets around the edges? That's what my daddy wanted to be brown and crunchy. So we're gonna not turn it until we get it kind of brown. My daddy could not stand any runny white in his eggs. So maybe that's another reason why he wanted to burn on the edges. See how crunchy that is? That's the way my daddy likes his eggs. In Louisiana, we dish it out. Louisiana style means, how do you like it? There's your fried egg with a good crunch on it. I like my grits actually right on top of my eggs. And I'm gonna make a little whale in the middle. And then I'm gonna put another pat of butter right on the top. Voila. How was that? You wanna top it off, make it even a little bit better, put you some diced up jalapeno peppers, maybe a little bit of cottage cheese on the side, and there you have it, Louisiana style breakfast. What we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and cook you up some flapjacks, and I'll get that together and be right back.
Dixie RV Superstores.
You are sure to find the RV of your dreams with 68 acres of motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. We also have an RV collision center and 56 service bays to better serve you.
Dixie RV, located off I-12 exit 35 in Hammond. Check us out at DixieRV.com or give us a call at 888-DIXIE-RV.
And as always,
Dixie RV Superstores, helping you retire one weekend at a time.
Are you looking for a natural alternative to your healthcare needs, like acid reflux, allergies, aches and pains, or even the common cold? Chiropractic Dr. Jay Miller is offering a free personal wellness evaluation valued at $90. Set your appointment today for your free evaluation and discover wellness through advanced spinal care. In Hammond, a short journey to your health and wellness. Call now to schedule your free evaluation at Advanced Spinal Care.
Building or remodeling? Overwhelmed with endless details? A-Plus Mobile Floor Store. We bring our store to your front door. Superior in-home service, top quality products. A-Plus Mobile Floor Store. We bring our store to your front door. Our low overhead means you save money. A+ Mobile Floor Store. We bring our store to your front door. Explore our vast selection of flooring options in the comfort of your own home. A+ Mobile Floor Store. Call today.
Welcome back, and before I forget again, I need to give you our food for thought word. If we're having breakfast, we're going to talk about morning and breakfast. All right, so we're going to get started with our pancakes, or our flapjacks, as my grandfather used to call them, Papa Lee. And we're going to have we have 2 cups of self-rising flour. So what I'm going to do is just whisk in some milk till it looks kind of watery to start to foam. I want it to be runny, but not too liquidy, just a little bit of lumps in there. Kind of think of it like a muffin, but a runny muffin. I'm going to try to show you the consistency. See how it's a little bit runny? It's starting to thicken already, so I'm going to add a little bit more milk, not a lot. And this golden stuff is yellow cornmeal. So I'm just going to sprinkle some yellow cornmeal. I'm saying that's maybe a little more than a teaspoon. Stir that in. And that cornmeal, just that little bit, is going to give you an extra crunch in those edges. And you're not really going to notice it in the cake part of the pancake. I never can make my first pancake taste as good as the next. So I'm going to see if that happens. But if I'm true to form, my first pancake is just going to be a throwawayer. Now, the way that you know a pancake is ready to turn, what my mother taught me, is the edges will become brown and crunchy, but in the center it should be bubbling. My mother used to pick at me and she would say, "How come you fry your daddy's pancakes more crunchy than mine?" So she always had to maybe get a competition of who I cooked better for. She was picking at me to try and tell me daddy was my favorite. See how the center's really getting bubbly now? That's what you're looking for. This pancake may have made a liar out of me because it's actually looking pretty good. So now that we saw the bubbles come through the top, basically by the time the bottom is golden, you should have a great pancake. So this one looks ready. I'm going to take it out and let's see how well I did. Oh good, that pancake made a liar out of me. Okay, so we're going to put some butter on it. And I like my pancake this color. My daddy likes his really, really brown. So find out what your family likes and cook it to their liking. There we go, it's popping on me. Okay, y'all have just witnessed an absolute miracle. I've cooked 2 pancakes, both of them turned out good. One of them at least should have been a dud. This has never happened before, so write it down in your history book. See how pretty that is? I made homemade syrup. This is brown sugar, water, a little bit of salt, cream of tartar, and baking soda. And if I didn't tell you, butter. So this is homemade, made it this morning, syrup made from brown sugar. Isn't that beautiful? It tastes like a praline. Louisiana style flapjack golden cornmeal. I'm going to show you, see what my camera people did to me? Like devoured. And I forgot to show you my glaze, so I wanted to bring it back and let you look at it. And all it is the juice dripping from that. So those hash browns were so good, they actually rested on the floor and fought for them, and I had to stop them to keep the last little bit. So we'll be back in a couple minutes, and when we do, we're going to give you food for your soul, as well as get you some of those good old southern Louisiana beignets and black coffee, and add a little cream and sugar to it. We'll be right back. All right, you guys, we're back. And you know those pancakes made a liar out of me a while ago? So here I am again. I'm using a recipe, which I don't normally do, but beignets, I usually go somewhere and eat them. But one of my best friends, our longtime friends, her first name is Linda, their family used to own a beignet company. And so this is a recipe that I acquired from her. So let's see if I can make it turn out really well. I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, which again, if I didn't have a recipe, I wouldn't even be touching all-purpose flour except for maybe homemade bread. So to that, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna mix that together. And I did sift my flour. Now I have warm water here, 110 degrees, and we're going to put a tablespoon of self-rising yeast, a tablespoon of sugar, and I'm just going to stir this with my hand. Another trick when you're working with yeast is make your bowl warm before you add your water to it. Okay, so while that's sitting, I'm going to let that rise a little bit. I want to tell you a little bit about the history of beignets. In the 1800s, it was brought to Louisiana from the French, and it became popular in New Orleans, and it's served at a restaurant called Café du Monde. That's what they're famous for, is beignet, as well as coffee with a little bit of chicory in it. So if you go to New Orleans, and you go down to the French Quarter and Jackson Square, make sure you stop by Café du Monde and enjoy some of what's known as a taste of Louisiana. Also, in 1986, beignet became the Louisiana state donut, which I didn't even know we had a state donut. I knew we had a state bird, a state tree, but not a state donut. The beignets were our state donut. Okay, so now we're going to whisk in 2 tablespoons of oil, which I have measured. We're going to put our 2 eggs. I'm going to whisk these in. This smells so good, the yeast. It smells like homemade bread. All right, now we're going to put this into our flour mixture. And I'm actually not going to incorporate all of this in the flour. And the reason is because I do want it kind of sticky. I'm going to clear my counter so we can roll this out. I want to go ahead and put my flour on my counter. You need to make sure your hands are really good and floured or lots of oil. Either way, make sure that you have one or the other, because it's going to stick to you if you don't. So we're going to go ahead and dump this out. Normally you would let this rise for about an hour. But when my granddaughter came over and said, "Nana, I will help you make some cookies and donuts if you would like," I just couldn't make her wait that long, so they turned out just fine. So I'm not actually going to even let this rise. I'm just kneading it a little bit. When you knead dough, it kind of gives it that stretchiness to it. Okay, we're just going to cut this. You can cut it in any shape you want to. We're just going to make little rectangles. And we're going to drop it in the oil. I have a pan already ready, a plate to put these in. That was a little too brown for me, but my daddy would like it. Okay, I'm going to turn this fire down a smidge. I'm going to go ahead and drop the rest of these in here. Look how fast. And again, I didn't have to wait an hour for these to rise, which is what the recipe calls for. And the only reason I cheated was my grandbaby wanted some donuts right now. And almost the time they fluff up, it's time to turn them over. Smell that yeast, it smells so good. And I'm going to finish up this little bit here. And then I'm going to show you how we make a glaze for the babies, because the powdered sugar, if you breathe while you take a bite, it'll get in your lungs and it makes you cough. And I don't want my babies or my grandbabies to have that in their lungs. So I make a little glaze for them. And the actual syrup we had earlier on our pancakes would also be wonderful. Now we're going to show you what you would get in New Orleans if you went to the place we were talking about earlier, Café du Monde. This is just powdered sugar right on top. Look how light fluffy that is. So good. Let me clean this mess up. I'll make you some glaze, and we'll get that coffee on off the stove for you, okay? Be right back.
Dixie RV Superstores is the Gulf South's #1 dealer of Tiffin motorhomes. Dixie RV has the largest selection and savings on Tiffin motorhomes like the Allegro Open Road, the Allegro Red, Phaeton Allegro Bus, and Zephyr, Tiffin's most luxurious motorhome. Rush into Dixie RV Superstores and Camping World to see the new 2015 models that are arriving daily, and check out the savings on all Tiffin motorhomes. Off I-12, exit 35 in Hammond. Check us out online, DixieRV.com. Dixie RV, helping you retire one weekend at a time.
Are you looking for a natural alternative to your healthcare needs, like acid reflux, allergies, aches and pains, or even the common cold? Chiropractic Dr. Jay Miller is offering a free personal wellness evaluation valued at $90. Set your appointment today for your free evaluation and discover wellness through advanced spinal care. In Hammond, a short journey to your health and wellness. Call now to schedule your free evaluation at Advanced Spinal Care.
Building or remodeling? Overwhelmed with endless details? A-Plus Mobile Floor Store. We bring our store to your front door. Superior in-home service. Top quality products. A-Plus Mobile Floor Store. We bring our store to your front door. Our low overhead means you save money. A-Plus Mobile Floor Store. We bring our store to your front door. Explore our vast selection of flooring options in the comfort of your own home. A-Plus Mobile Floor Store. Call today.
Okay, you guys, it would not be a Louisiana breakfast without a black cup of coffee sweetened with just a little bit of cream and sugar. So we've got our water coming to a boil, and this is my grandfather's coffee pot. It's an aluminum pot, no filter. That's the basket, and we've filled the grounds just to where it basically gives you the measure. This is basically going to be 2 cups of coffee, so it's just perfect for 2. And me and my husband drink out of this every day. And my mother gave me this before she passed. It was something that she and I did every time we were together. We drink a cup of coffee. So we're going to go ahead and pour this up. We're going to place the coffee pot onto the hot burner here. So as it drips, it'll stay piping hot. My mama said if the coffee wasn't hot, it wasn't real coffee, so it's got to be hot. Now, in the meantime, I've got a lemon here, so I'm just going to squeeze 1 lemon, half a lemon, and I'm going to grab my powdered sugar to make the glaze for the grandbaby. I'm just going to put some in here, don't measure, and I'm going to stir with my fingers with the lemon. And the reason I do that is because the consistency of the sugar wants to make just little pockets of air, and it's easier for me to get mixed together with my fingers and make a paste. And then once I have a paste, then I'll add a little water to it and make a glaze. So we're just going to pour this on the plate, and then we can dip our donuts right into it. And one other little trick that my mother taught me, anytime you're making something sweet, go ahead and put a dash of salt. I'm just going to take a pinch and finish turning it in. And what that's going to do is just kind of balance the sweet and the salty together. You're not really even going to notice the salt in it. Okay, it's time to pour up our coffee, and we're going to give that food for thought. Louisiana dark roast. Remember, this is a small pot, so it's not quite a full mug. This is real heavy whipping cream, not half and half. And I like about a teaspoon of sugar in mine because it is dark and bitter. Now let's talk about our food for thought. Morning and breakfast. And there's 2 words for morning. One is morning, like in the morning you wake up, right? Well, the other word for morning goes back to what we were talking about earlier, and that is to grieve or to be broken. So to break fast and to observe your brokenness. Most of the time people want to get us out of our hard times. It doesn't really work. So what does work? Well, remember on another show we talked about an eagle flying straight into the headwind? It's when we face our grief, when we observe it, we don't hide from our mourning or our brokenness, that we really wake up. So, like this bitter cup of coffee, sometimes life serves you something bitter. So when somebody pours in some cream, which could represent love or compassion, and then a little bit of sugar to sweeten it up, with maybe some kindness or hospitality, and you can serve up a cup of coffee. Have a donut. A little sweetness with that relationship and friendship. And join us next time for more of Fishing It Out, Louisiana style.